Hello everyone and welcome to the Double Blue, Green and Red podcast reviews. I'm Gabenator. I'm Henry.
I'm Gordon.
And I'm James. And today we'll be reviewing How to Train Your Dragon.
What's so funny, James?
Well, we're reviewing How to Train Your Dragon and we're trains, so...
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
Pah! Honestly, Henry, I don't see what's so funny about it.
Well, it is kind of funny when you think about it, Gordon.
Oh? And how so?
Because we got to see your priceless angry reaction about it.
Can we just review the movie now? Or are you gonna laugh at me till it's tomorrow already?
Settle down, Gordon. We're only teasing. But since we had our laugh, and without further ado, let's begin our review. Based on the novels of the same name by Cressida Cowell, How to Train Your Dragon tells the story of a shy and physically weak teenager, Hiccup Haddock, who must prove to his chief father and village that he can still be a Viking, even if he'd rather befriend the dragon than slay one.
I dare say, DreamWorks adapted, if not skyrocketed, Cressida Cowell's original story on a higher level, making it 1,000 times better.
Aye, in the books, Hiccup's Viking tribe, the Burkians, already trained dragons by taking them as younglings, but in the movie, they fight in a war against the dragons, and Hiccup is the one that learned how to train them as adults. But that wasn't the only best ingenious way DreamWorks adapted the original book.
Indeed, there's also the fact that Hiccup and Toothless fly together with their prosthetics that mutually complete each other, as opposed to just being carried like all the other dragons and riders.
And don't forget, Hiccup's romantic relationship he formed with Astrid in the film is something that wasn't in the original books and was definitely something worth adding in the film.
The film story is also another great example of the moral that heroes don't have to be big or muscular. True strength comes from one's heart and soul, something that Hiccup had always had in the story.
And that is why all these adapted story differences, as well as the great designs of the dragons and the character developments of Hiccup, Toothless, and all the Burkians, are the reason that the How to Train Your Dragon franchise became so popular and successful. Aye, the franchise is definitely the best media DreamWorks has ever adapted and released.
Totally, and it's been announced that the film is getting a live-action remake, which we will definitely review when it releases.
So if that's all we have to say for our overall review of How to Train Your Dragon, here are its first top 5 best moments. Number 5. Hiccup and Toothless bond. After shooting a Night Fury down, but unable to bring himself to kill him, Hiccup chose to do something as Astrid described as stupid, set him free, to which the Black Dragon then roared at Hiccup, but let him live.
That moment, and the fact that Gobba stated a dragon will always go for the kill, made Hiccup question why he wasn't killed, which is what led to Hiccup finding the Night Fury again.
And after giving him a fish and earning his trust, Hiccup named his new best friend Toothless because of his retractable teeth.
Because Hiccup was the outcast among his tribe, it gave him a different view on the world, which led him to see that the dragons were not entirely violent, mindless beasts as him and his tribe originally believed. Aye, and because of that, Hiccup and Toothless fulfilled their destiny to end Berk's war with the dragons and teach his people to live in peace with them. Number 4. Hiccup rises up. Through his days with Toothless, Hiccup began to learn more about the dragon's nature and get his act together during dragon training.
You should have seen the others' faces when Hiccup scared that two-headed Zippleback dragon back into his cage with an eel. It was priceless.
And then every training session afterward, Hiccup was able to easily and gently knock out every dragon he faced.
That definitely flipped a switch as Hiccup's new talents made him so popular among everyone, except Astrid, that he could barely walk through the village without being swarmed by his new fans.
And speaking of Astrid, she got jealous of Hiccup taking her title as a star pupil and was the only one to have some suspicion about his rising talent, although she didn't confront him about it until much later.
And it was also during this time that Hiccup was also busy working on something that would help Toothless fly once again.
Number 3. Hiccup and Toothless' first official flight together. If you recall, Toothless lost his back tail fin when Hiccup shot him down.
And because of that, Toothless could no longer fly until Hiccup began to fix that with the new prosthetic tail fin he created.
The only problem was, being set way before modern-day prosthetic technologies were invented, Toothless' new tail fin could not connect to his nervous system to control its movement. Aye, but that was where Hiccup literally stepped in by creating a saddle and system with it that would allow him to steer Toothless with his left foot. And even though it was rough winds at first, Hiccup was able to get the hang of flying with Toothless after a short while.
Indeed, although it should be noted that Toothless was so happy about it that he shared his fiery enthusiasm with him.
Number 2. Hiccup and Astrid's romantic flight. Beyond aggravated at Hiccup after he unintentionally took the final win from her in dragon training, Astrid followed Hiccup to the cove to beat the truth out of why he got so good out of him and found out about him and Toothless.
And since she was too stubborn to listen, like all Burkians are, Hiccup and Toothless had to kidnap her onto the top of a tree before she made it back to the village to tell everyone. Although that still wasn't enough to get Astrid to listen, so Hiccup had to show Astrid that Toothless meant no harm, which worked out better than expected.
Agreed, although Toothless had to first scare her with his aerial acrobatics, which made her apologize to Hiccup for her actions and attitude.
Indeed. But once he heard her, Toothless stopped showboating, which literally opened Astrid's eyes, allowing her to see what Hiccup saw the moment he mastered flight with the Night Fury.
Aye, and the music played during this scene fits so well, especially since Astrid fell in love with Hiccup because of that beautiful flight. This moment was a crucial moment for Hiccup, not only because it is where he started his relationship with Astrid, but also because he finally had someone truly believe in him.
Indeed, Hiccup was actually about to run away from Berk with Toothless to avoid killing a dragon for his last test in training.
Aye, but after Astrid changed her views about the dragons because of this scene, it proved to Hiccup that his people could change, which is what likely got him to think twice about running away. The other being they also discovered the dragon's lair and their queen, the Red Death, during their flight, which is the topic of our number 1 moment.
Number 1. The final battle and conclusion. The climax of the film, Hiccup and Toothless fulfilled their destiny and officially end Berk's war with the dragons.
Upon Hiccup, Astrid, and Toothless finding the dragon's nest, they discovered that the dragons were not raiding Berk's food for themselves. They were giving it to the Red Death queen, who would eat them otherwise if they failed to bring her enough.
And then after stubbornly refusing to listen to Hiccup trying to warn him of the danger, his father Stoic got his people to set sail and use the shackled Toothless as a guide to find a nest to drive the dragons out.
That stubbornness and refusing to listen to his son is what almost got the strong chief and his people eaten by the Red Death.
Indeed, but thankfully Hiccup, Astrid and the others from dragon training came just in time to save them, thanks to Hiccup teaching them how to train and ride dragons.
And it amazed everyone so much, even Stoic, who helped Hiccup release Toothless from his shackles upon nearly drowning.
And after reconciling with his father, Hiccup rode Toothless to face the Red Death.
Thanks to Hiccup's smarts, Toothless' speed, and everything they've learned together about flying and dragons, the duo was able to defeat the evil Dragon Queen and stop her rage of terror on dragons and humans once and for all. Aye, but it also would have cost Hiccup's life had Toothless not shielded Hiccup from the explosion, and that selfless act completely changed Stoic and the other Berkians' view on dragons.
Then when Hiccup woke up a few weeks later, he discovered he lost his left leg, but his people have now adapted to living with and riding dragons, just like he did with Toothless.
And after Toothless got fitted with a new fin and saddle, Hiccup, Astrid and the other Viking teenagers ride their dragons through Berk as the new age and alliance between the Vikings and dragons begin, ending the film in a spectacular way.
We hope you liked our review of How to Train Your Dragon. If you have any moment from it that you like best, please let us know in the comments below.
And if you did like it, drop us a like and a suggestion you might have for a movie or series for us to review. And that's all we've got for today. So until next time, stay awesome.